Welcome back to the PWC channel for our Week 3 recap. Week 3 for Showdown and Week 2 for Wi-Fi. So, as we did last time and as we are going to do every single time, we are going to start off with the Typhlosion League, where we had the first match, which was Drew 07 against myself, Janelle, which ended in a very close 2-0 victory for me. Definitely a very, very strong played match by Drew, I must say, because his matchup really wasn't that fun, in my opinion, other than the Jolteon, which was really good. But I also had some really big threats against his team, and yeah, he definitely kept it close. And in the end, it came down to a Baxcalibur having to one-shot a Slowbro, which of course it does because it's a Baxcalibur. No problem. Then we had the second match, which was Prof against our reigning champion still, which is Gailaria. And Prof continuing his really strong season so far, which I dare say is a little bit surprising to me because, yeah, this league is really strong and Prof has really dominated so far. Won 6-0 against Moonlight week 1, then he even beat Ronan Sting in week 2, and now he continues his streak with a 2-0 win over our reigning champion. I know there was a really nasty Draco miss in there, which sucked for Gailaria, but I'm not sure how much or if at all this changed the result. It may not. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on this game, but yeah, definitely Prof showing a really strong start to the season. Then we have Moonlight finally getting his first win over Tark after getting two really bad losses in weeks 1 and 2. Moonlight finally back, but honestly it was only a matter of time because yeah, Moonlight is a very, very strong coach who has just been out of the loop for a while. It's his first Gen 9 is the Gen we have, Gen 9 league, and yeah, now he's hopefully getting his footing slowly but surely. And normally you would expect Moonlight to always make playoffs. But yeah, in this league, pretty much we only have playoff caliber players in every normal league. Then for Tark, which Tark got his first win last week on week 2, and now is back to a loss again. It's now 1 and 2, but yeah, still excited to see how he can make his team work, which is really unorthodox, really just without any defense. And yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Then on the next match, we have our the Caracasa's streak of bad luck just won't end. I think he against Girahim this week, he still had some bad luck. I'm not quite sure what it was, but Girahim is just crushing his opposition in weeks 1 and 3. This is his second 6-0 win on only week 3, and now he's at 2 and 1, and I don't know, plus something crazy, like plus 11 or so. I'm not sure. Yeah, it should be plus 9. So yeah, still pretty crazy for a 2 and 1 record. And yeah, Girahim just showing, especially his Keldeo, which is the overall kill leader across all the divisions in the league, across all 4 leagues. Keldeo is currently in the lead with 10 kills after 2 matches, honestly, because he didn't bring it in week 2. But yeah, when he brought it, it pretty much soloed the opposition both weeks. And this week was no different against Caracasa. I'm still waiting also, just like Moonlight, Caracasa has been out of the loop and is pretty preoccupied with his studies. So he's not probably not as prepared as he has been in the past, but I'm still expecting him to come back eventually because yeah, he pretty much made semifinals at least in every league I've ever seen from him, which has been like 7-8 leagues now. And yeah, you definitely know that he's going to come back eventually. Then we have one of probably the brightest shining newcomer we have to the league, which is Infinite R22 against Zayed. And yeah, Infinite is just honestly the story of the season so far, probably, or one of the stories at least. Still at a 3-0 record so far after week 3. This time with a 4-0 win over Zayed. So Zayed is a really strong coach in his own right, but much like Moonlight and Caracasa, he's also been taking a break. I don't know if he has played Gen 9 before, but he was a beast in Gen 8, and he still is a beast probably, but he still has to get his footing. So yeah, these three guys, Moonlight, Karakasa, and Zayed here, they are pretty similar. They are all really, really strong coaches, but you can definitely tell that in a league like this, where every single participant is a multiple-time league winner pretty much, or at least of that caliber, it just doesn't, you just can't be out of the loop even a bit, and you're going to end up with a 0-3 record, which most of these guys have now, which is honestly incredible to see Zayed with a 0-3 record. Never thought I'd see the day. Like the last time I saw him, he was like 11-1 in a really solid league. So yeah, it's crazy. Then we have the next match, which is Nico and against Mayo. Mayo with the sweep, with the Volcarona sweep in the end there. Mayo still very strong with 2-1 now, which is good to see. And Nico, another newcomer who has been not quite as successful as Infinite so far, but yeah, we will see if he can turn his luck around. It's not looking easy, but yeah, he might also grow with the challenge, which is going to be interesting to see. Then the last match, it is, just the number one of the league so far, you have to say it. It is Tylenol against Ronan Sting. So Tylenol is now at 3-0 as well, and I think like something crazy, like plus 15 or so. Like he has won every match really, really convincingly and with a really high differential. And this week was no different. It looked pretty like a little bit like a stalemate in the early stages of the game until both guys decided to make a crazy play. So the first crazy play was Tylenol switching his Weavile into Meowscarada, expecting a knockoff, but it could just as easily have been a U-turn, in which case I don't think Weavile takes a Protean U-turn, but he got that prediction right. So Weavile got to stay. It lost its heavy duty boots, and about 50% of its health, but it definitely lived. But a couple of turns later, Ronan Sting, on the other hand, decided to switch Meowscarada, which was his biggest offensive threat, into Slowbro Galar, and he did not get rewarded for taking such a huge risk, but Slowbro clicked its signature move, the shell sidearm or whatever it's called, the poison move, and just one-shotted the Meowscarada, and Ronan Sting lost it. And from there it was just a slow and grueling process of Slowbro Galar just whittling Ronan Sting down turn after turn. It just kept switching in, was an Assault Vest set, kept clicking Future Sight and Shell Sidearm and whatever else, and Scald. Yeah, it just was a grueling process, grueling to watch, long match, but in the end, it was Slowbro Galar on its own, pretty much defeating Ronan Sting with 5-0 here. So yeah, this concludes our week 3 for Typhlosion division. There you can see the standings have some week 4 in it already, because I'm late as always. I'm sorry guys, I don't always have time to make these, but I try to keep up with it. And yeah, so you can see that had this not been the 4th match already for Infinite, Tylenol would be on top here. We still have 4 undefeated players. Yeah, as I said, Prof really strong, Tylenol insane so far. It's crazy. Then we got this strong people in the pursuit for the very top spots, which is Girahim and Mayo, both at 2-1. And then we just have a huge bunch of people fighting for these last playoff spots. 8 is the cutoff. We got Gylaria and Drew there right now. But you also have Targ and Ronan Sting, and now also Moonlight in the chase. So all these players are really strong. And even Zayed and Karakasa, don't be surprised if they make a comeback to make playoffs still. Because, yeah, they are, just trust me, they are insanely strong players. And that's going to show eventually. And then we got Nico on the last spot, now with 0-4 after week 4, which, yeah, that's just tough. But that's honestly looking tough to come back from for playoffs, but you never know. It's only spot 8, so maybe if you can get a streak going with 4-4, you can still definitely make playoffs. but he has to turn this ship around now, not later, but it has to be next week. Otherwise, he's not going to be in contention for playoffs. All right, that's going to be it for the Typhlosion League. Moving on to the Dartrix League, which has been the league that has snagged the most awards so far, because it has been having some really fire games. And we have, for the first match, the comeback of Leighton after suffering a bad loss on week 1. He has since turned his ship around and is now 2-1 after winning like 4-0 or so last week. Yes, he now defeated Panda of Redness 3-0. Really nice to see him make the comeback. And yeah, I'm excited to see how he can keep it up. Then we had the match between the Prince Aldo and Blackout EDC, which was really, really, really unlucky for the Prince Aldo. I'm just gonna check that out really quickly, because this pretty much should have been a win. It was a close match, but it should have been a win for the Prince Aldo. If my internet wants to do as I want to do, that would be nice. Perfect. It's just going to be another few years. But yeah, in the end, you will see it is just a really crucial bounce miss on Gyarados, which sealed Prince Aldo's fate here. So yeah, looking to exchange a bunch of status in the early stages of the match. Also love to see Girder. It has been doing work for Mayo in Typhlosion League as well, and Aldo also brought it in this match. And it definitely can always take a couple of hits with the Eviolite. Oh, and we see Rapidash doing some work. That's also cool. Blackout ADC. Yeah, that's a pretty hype match, honestly, just from the Mons, Rotom fan as well. Jesus Christ. There we got Salamence against the Terra Water Rhyperior, which is such a beast, honestly. Rhyperior with Terra is so hard to take down. Wow, 3 kills. That's crazy. All right, there in comes the Gyarados. So it looks like Panda of Redness got the lead here in the early stages, but... Or sorry, this is Blackout EDC. Anyway, yeah, so the Rapidash has been really nice. The Terra Rhyperior as well with Terra Water. Got like 3 kills until it finally went down. And now we see the Gyarados Dragon Dancing. And yeah, it just bounces away from here. Got 2 kills, and then on the very last turn, it was here Blackout EDC's last mon. It bounced again, and that, since it's a fighting type, that would have been it. But it misses the bounce and instead gets killed by an Aqua Step, which means that now instead of losing 2-0, he will get the reverse sweep. Oh, it even lived very closely the hit by probably Scarf Greninja. Wow, I didn't even remember that. Wow, it lived the hit by 6%. And gets the reverse sweep thanks to the bounce miss. So yeah, that was crazy, honestly. I think if Aldo knew he was scarfed on Greninja, he could have also just clicked like Waterfall or Earthquake with Gyarados against Quaquaval to just chip it, which would probably have been the 100% win, but he didn't decide to do that, so I guess that's the price he pays with his bad luck. All right. Next up, we have Jam just continuing to run through the league with his 6-0 win over Scary Monsters Over Heaven. So Scary Monsters Over Heaven, much like Karakasa, is also a pretty strong player normally, but he seems to be incredibly busy currently. Like, you don't see him being active at all, and it's really hard to schedule with him, which is sad, honestly, because normally I would expect him to probably make playoffs for sure, but yeah, it looks tough this season because he's now 0-3, and some of these defeats have been quite sizable as well. Then we got the match between Yasha Indigo and Leonard with the Ferrari Rapidash, and Leonard just getting his 3rd win in the 3rd week, continuing to go strong, and Yasha Indigo has been doing quite well so far. He's been 1-1 in close matches, and now he's 1-2, which is not the end of the world, still very much in contention for playoffs. The match between Galactic Empire and Froggerman 225. So that's Galactic's first win after going 0-2. Both in close matches, to be fair. I think he played like 2 of the undefeated guys in weeks 1 and 2. Let me check that out really quickly. Where do we have him? There we have it. Yeah, so Gil on week 2 and... Nick on week 1. Yeah, so Nick is not undefeated, but Gil is. And those were both pretty close. And now he gets his first win with a 5-0 over Froggerman. So Froggerman has been struggling so far, but it's definitely a learning experience, I would say, for him. So he's not as experienced as most of the other guys are in this league. So it makes sense that he could struggle a little bit. But yeah, he's going to have to grow from this, I think, and hopefully get some good wins in the second half of the season, which I'm looking forward to see. Then we get Sailor V against the Scary Smoliv. Just hasn't been played yet. Smoliv tried really hard, but Sailor V seems to be also busy a lot of the time. So hopefully that still happens. And then we got Nick versus Gil, these two friends. And yeah, not much to say. Nick just got completely crushed. Yeah, that was quite rough. I'm trying to remember the match. What was the reason? I think, yeah, he couldn't get past Cyclizar. Gil had a Assault Vest, Cyclizar, Terra Ferry, which was really nice against Zoroark and with the Regenerator. Really hard to kill for Nick's mostly passive team, and then he just got slowly but surely whittled down, much like Ronensting did against Tylenol, and it ended with the same result, 5-0 for Gil, who now remains undefeated with 3-0. And the last match was Blank, who is Red X, as you can see by this Red X right here, and Corrupt. So Red X won that 2-0 in a really cool match, honestly. So those were some fire sets. We saw really good use of Ferrothorn and Hatterene on Red X's side. And then for Corrupt, Corrupt made his slacking work in this one, as he did quite a lot of times this season. So he just doesn't care. His Choice Band and what's the physical Hyper Beam called? Giga Impact. He likes to click that with slacking. And obviously there's not many mons who aren't a ghost type that would switch into that. So yeah, that was nice to see. So even though Red X had the Ferrothorn, it was still not enough to reliably wall this Slacking, which got at least 1 kill, if I recall correctly. So those were your week 3 matches. There we got the standings. Still Jam with an incredible record of 3-0 plus 13, just demolishing the league so far. Then we got Gil following with also 3-0. So after week 3, we still had 4 undefeated guys. So we had Leonard still back then, who was undefeated. As you can see, that changed now. And then we got the Scary Smoliv, who's just behind on his matches through no fault of his own, really. But he still is. And look at this record, 2-0 plus 10. Jesus Christ. I'm excited to see what's coming there. So he might give Gil and Jam. And so I think Jam also plays Gil now. So this is going to be a fun match for week 4. So we definitely have to get that for the channel. And yeah, let's see what happens. All right, then we got Leighton making the comeback. Red X, really strong so far. Did I mention that? So he's not, you don't really hear or see much of him. And he also has a team name called Blank, and he doesn't have a logo because his logo is just a Red X. But yeah, he seems to be a quite capable player and is now 2-1. Excited to see how his season goes. Yeah, this is going to be so exciting. I can't wait to find out who wins this league. I have zero idea. Then we got Panda of Redness. Very, very balanced record so far. 2-2 plus 1. And yeah, just from the looks of it, he's quite decent. And he seems to be just somewhere around this area of the standings. And that's where he is rightfully. Then we got Yasha Indigo. 1-2. Well, yeah, let's see. I think his direction, his general trajectory is just trending a little bit in this direction right here, a little bit upwards probably. But yeah, the results haven't been there mostly so far, but yeah, he's still very much in the mix. And yeah, I expect him to trend a little bit upwards in the coming weeks. Sailor V is still only at 2 matches, sadly. 1-1, -2. No idea where his trajectory is going. I'm so excited to find out. We will definitely when he plays the Scary Smoliv, which is, yeah, looks like it could be one of the toughest opponents the league has to offer. Then, very sadly, we have Kurupt and the Prince Aldo. So both. Oh, I should also say, on the topic of really nice guys, which is what I'm getting at with Kurupt and the Prince Aldo, Panda of Redness also seems to be very, very, very classy individual, just from his behavior so far. I must say, I noticed it for sure. And yeah, Kurupt and the Prince Aldo just the same. Like they both had really, really tough breaks so far in some matches. And yeah, it's just always the same. Like you love to have these guys that can even remain classy and complimentary even in defeat, and that's definitely what these two are for sure. Like we have also seen some examples to the opposite so far in this league, but that just makes you appreciate guys like Kurupt and Aldo even more. And I really, really hope that they can turn their ship around as well. So right now they are just behind playoffs, but I'm expecting them to hopefully make a comeback as well. And can't wait to see it. Then we got Nick on 1 and 2 -5. So Nick is also pretty sure he's... Yeah, I'm saying that about everyone, right? But it's also my honest opinion. So these guys are all pretty good. So I'm expecting also Nick to eventually trend in this direction right here. But you have to say he also... What are his losses? I think he lost to Gil. And then who else did he lose to? Gil... Where's the wheelchair? Oh yeah, Gil and Jam. So yeah, I guess he just thought these two guys, these two juggernauts on the top of the standings. So yeah, he's gonna make a comeback eventually. You bet. Then we got Blackout, EDC. So does that mean that was his first win just now? Yeah, that was his first win against Aldo. So excited. Maybe he's kick-started his season now, can make a comeback for playoffs. I would love to see it for sure. And yeah, SMO and Froggerman on the on the bottom of the standings. Yeah, not many things went their way so far, but that can also change. And I'm here to see it for sure. Definitely rooting for SMO as well, because normally SMO would definitely belong to the moon somewhere up top there for sure, but it has been in the cards for so far this season. All right, moving on to our famous, infamous, beloved Oshawott League. And first of all, my favorite thing ever is this one right here. Tinchino Tootles, aka Shillon, our Swiss hero from Switzerland, whatever, getting his second win on week 3. It was a little bit lucky against Howl and the South Coast Snow Capes, but I mean, Howl has been undefeated so far, and Shillon just handed him his first L there, and I love to see it. I love to see Shillon do well, and I hope it continues. I want to see Shillon make playoffs, and I want to see him go far, and I want to see him just dab on the competition, then make it to Dartrix League next season. Gil not getting promoted because Gil sucks, and then Shillon playing Gil and just demolishing him. So this is my ideal version of the future, right? This is how it should be, and this is how it's gonna happen. All right, then we got Seroga against How, which is a match that this one was a banger. It was incredible because it didn't actually happen. But yeah, so How couldn't make the time and pushed it back repeatedly until he eventually said, yeah, I guess this week is just not my week. Doesn't look like it will happen, so I'm just going to give you the win here. So that's why Seroga got this 3-0 forfeit win, which I know Seroga definitely didn't want because he wanted to play. He probably prepped a really nice team, but doesn't get to use it now, which is sad, but at least he got the win. 3-0 win is nothing you want to complain about. Then we got Tails DK getting his first win over Rich's Crackers. How proud are you guys that I finally remembered the name? Rich's Crackers. I still can't pronounce it, but at least I remember it now. And Tails DK got his first win over Rich's. And I didn't watch the match. Want to watch the match? Kind of interested to see how this went. Ah, right. I probably shouldn't with this internet. So if anyone cares, you probably don't. I'm in southern Germany right now, and internet here is just like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's not doing well. All right, we see Terra steal Serena doing a huge chunk to Baxcalibur turn 1. Why would he bring Baxcalibur if he has Tapu Fini? That's interesting. So Tapu Fini is probably the best counter in the game to Baxcalibur, but it's also prone to getting whittled, so which we just saw there. Ooh, then we got the signature, which is Electrode. Love to see it. Baxcalibur doing a sum total of nothing. That's also nice, I guess. Switching Magnezone to get killed by Stealth Rocks, also interesting. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So Tails DK just dominated this for the most part. Yeah. And that's a 2-0. Yeah, that was just a clean win, honestly. He was just seemed to have been better prepared there. Really cool to see the Electrode, but I think he traded that away as well. So we won't see it anymore, I believe, but not sure. And yeah, Baxcalibur not really doing anything that match, which is sad. All right, so this was the match between Tails DK and Rich's Crackers. Wow, then we got another returning coach just making waves, and I love to see it. Our Season 5 champion, Jactus. So he's been going under the radar a little bit amongst all these newcomers that have been doing so well, because I think he lost his week 1 or something like that. Not sure, or lost his week 2. But since then, other than that, he's been pretty much running through the league. And this week against Bespoke Foil was no different. 5-0, very strong win. And is now firmly setting his foot into the top ranges of the standings so far. And yeah, I love to see it for sure. And Bespoke Foil still, I'm really surprised. I'm still almost expecting him to make a comeback, because playoffs still isn't definitely not out of the conversation for him, because yeah, we have 10 spots, so you can still make it even if you have a bad start to the season. But I'm expecting Bespoke Foil every week. I'm thinking, well, this week he's gonna turn it around, but not so far. Maybe next week, we shall see. Then we got Anubion and the Berlin Breilooms against Harmony and the Wenceslau Whooper. I have no idea how to pronounce Wenceslau, but I do know that Harmony won every match so far. He's now at 3-0 and also having a good win on this record with Anubion. And yeah, so Harmony definitely on the very, very top of the standings, I think, with Zeroga. So I haven't said anything about Zeroga. Yeah, probably the strongest newcomer combined with Harmony. Very, very strong so far, but yeah, this week there's just not much to say about, because he didn't actually play his match through no fault of his own, obviously, but still unfortunately did not happen. But yeah, I'm so excited to see how his season continues, because he's also building some fire sets, so that's always fun to watch, for me at least. And yeah, so Harmony also using some crazy strats from time to time, and so far it's been working out beautifully. Whereas for Anubion, yeah, the season didn't go well so far. I think he's 1-2 now, but eventually he's also going to make a comeback, because Anubion is not a bad player for sure. Then the next one, we have the highlight of the league, probably the fan favorite for sure. Talking about fans, I'm talking about myself, because I'm probably the only fan, but I definitely love Attila and his sets. And yeah, if you ever have a chance, always tune into Attila games, because something is about to go down every single time. He's going to play like special, I don't know, Rhyperior, or if he even has it, probably not. But he's always having crazy sets, and I love to see him do well. He's now 2-1 after week 3, which is beautiful. And opposing him, we have another player that has been making waves, because he also has some crazy sets most of the time, which is Starvin Pig. So Starvin Pig won week 1 against Shillon, but ever since then they reversed roles, and Shillon started winning everything, and Starvin Pig started losing everything. And this week was the same, with his narrow loss to Attila here. Yeah, which means that, I mean, this is still not a bad record. 1-2 after week 3, no trouble there. Then we got Scepter Bird against, right now you're gonna get me. Who is this? JT, I think, right? Yeah, this is JT. Scepter Bird against JT. So JT getting another win. I think both these guys are just doing fine, somewhere in the middle. Not sure about their exact records right now, but also haven't seen the match. I would watch the match, but I think I'm gonna do that next week again because I don't want to wait for ages for my internet to work. But I think both these guys are doing fine so far. And then for the last match, we do have the Blind Bandits coached by Blind Fangs against my favorite coach, Bonger27. And unfortunately, Bonger27 decided to drop from the league not after this match, but after some of the matches he made after that, because he also made some matches in advance and he lost all of them. He went like 0-5, I believe, and yeah, decided to drop from the league after that. So that is sad to see. But what's not sad to see is make Blind Fangs going 2-1, which is awesome. After his miracle Mimikyu comeback last week, he managed to also defeat Bonger27 2-0 this week. And that means for the standings, we do see Blind Fangs firmly in the playoff spots right now. All right, so apparently he lost the week after, so he's 2-2 now, but he was 2-1 after week 3, and is still, even with his loss now, he's still firmly in the playoff spots. Currently, Harmony, since he also made all his matches already, we know his end record so far. I'm not gonna spoil it though. But spoiler, he did not go undefeated. And possibly he might not even have beaten the guy who's almost last right now, but we shall see in future weeks. All right, but right now, still in the lead, 4-0, plus 11. But yeah, you can see right behind him, we have Ziroga, just with an incredible record of 3-0, plus 12. So with a win, he would pass Harmony for the first spot. And then we got my favorites here, Jactus and Shillon, just behind them at 3-1, both really strong. Shillon somehow managing to be only +2 with a 3-1 record, but who cares? That's just Swiss efficiency, as we call it. So he knows how to maximize his results with a not so great differential. Then behind that, we have JT. All right, so JT's been doing well, actually. So that means that this was his... No, he won against Scepter Bird. All right. So yeah, doing well so far. So does Howl. Howl, also pretty efficient, +2, 2-1. And yeah, lost his first match against Shillon this week, which was awesome. Then another awesome news. Attila also doing well, also firmly in the playoff spots right now. 2-1, +2, very solid. Hopefully can keep it up. Then we got How and Anubion, both strong coaches. How, I've seen him play. He's definitely not bad, so I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually defends this playoff spots. So Anubion, I would expect the same. And Rich Crackers, also pretty decent coach, I must say. So all these 1 and 2 guys, this is going to be such a slaughter, let me tell you. All these guys, I could all of them make playoffs for sure. So yeah, Oshawott League is also... It's also very, very even and hard to predict who will win it. So right now you would probably have these two guys as the absolute favorites, just based on performance and record so far. But yeah, you never know. In playoffs, anything can happen, and Mons is such a great game, honestly, for this. So you never quite know what's going to happen in the end. Yeah, then we got Tails DK, Starvin Pick, still in the 1 and 2 mix, and Bespoke Foil and our... Unfortunately, he's not there anymore. Bonger27 will be replaced, though, by Jax. But yeah, no playoffs chances anymore, I don't think. And yeah, for Bespoke Foil, it's time for a comeback there, hopefully. All right, so this was our Oshawott League. Also, guys, how proud are you that I'm actually going to do this in one take? I can't believe it. All right, then we got our Week 2, Wi-Fi Week 2, which will start with the Diamond Clan. So Diamond Clan, we don't have a replay of every match, obviously, yet, but this one of Shadow Glade will for sure still follow. But yeah, first of all, we had Spooks against Absolute. and some numbers. I think absolute, whatever. I'm just going to butcher the numbers. Let's call them absolute. Seattle Dragonaires and Spooks. So Spooks, in my opinion, after moving up from Threats Division last season, he's been doing amazing so far because, yeah, the depth of this skill depth of this Diamond Clan is really, really high. There are no bad players in there. And Spooks has been holding his own with Pseudo Voodoo as his signature. So I don't know what made him pick Pseudo Voodoo, but it's definitely not optimal. But you can see he's been having very close matches both weeks. And having such a close match against Absolute, who's been beating Brett on week 1, 2-0, which definitely tells you that he's no joke. And yeah, he just barely beat Spooks there with his, I saw the match on YouTube. You can check it out on his channel. I think Terra Jolteon was huge for him this match, but I mean, you're dealing with big bad Pseudo Voodoo here, so you never quite know. And I don't want to promise anything, but I think Pseudo Voodoo might also have gotten a kill. So it definitely got a couple of kills this season already. So yeah, Spooks definitely now 1-1. +0. Very, very nice start to the season in this strong and dangerous division. And yeah, for Absolute, just 2-0 right now. Strong player making his mark here. Then we have Adam. Wow, Adam, 2-0. I think leading the standings right now because all these matches have been really close. As you can see, the entire season didn't have more than a 3 differential game, so that's insane. And Adam had 2-0 and a 3-0 win, which makes him the leader right now. And this week he beat Dashing Sceptile. So Dashing Sceptile is also a very, very good player. He's been playing in some of the big leagues of the draft scene. As I'm told, I'm not an expert in which leagues are big and which are not. But yeah, so he suffered his first loss after beating Shadow Galate week 1 and is now at a 1-1 record. As Adam's still going strong there. Then we got Scary against Shadow Galate. Scary now at 0-2, I believe. Yeah, on week 1, she lost to the Sudowoodoos there, right? Against Spooks. And now losing to Shadow Galate, which definitely is no shame. Shadow Galate is an incredible player, honestly, just based on player skill. You definitely have to have him on his radar, on your radar, for favorites to win this. Probably talking about favorites, you're gonna talk about every single one of these players because they're all good, but I'm not gonna spoil it. Someone's gonna get mad, so I'm just not gonna go into that. But I think Shadow Galate is pretty good. Can I say that? I think I can. Moving on to the next match. And by the way, Scary also gonna make a comeback. You betcha. She will. She's good. Then we got Brett beating DTN 3-0. Not quite sure what went down there because I think Brett hasn't posted the YouTube vid so far, but Brett making the comeback after his week 1 loss, and you know he's going to make a comeback in the season as well. And DTN is now at 0-2. Tough, but hopefully he can make something happen. You never know. Every match is a gamble when you have DTN, so let's see how it goes from here for him. Moving on to the Pearl Clan, and the Pearl Clan, unsurprisingly, to me at least, so far has been dominated by, where is he? There is Moonabloom. Moonabloom winning week 1 5-0 against Firemaster, incredible result. And then 1 week later, we have the 4-0 win over Graf Pain, giving him a 2-0 +9 record so far, leading the Pearl division. And thankfully, Firemaster also manages to defeat Hynex this week. So that means he comes back from his week 1 loss, which I love to see. He's now at 1-1 and a neutral differential. After suffering the huge loss on week 1, he managed to come back with the same differential on week 2, which is great. Whereas Hynex, the newcomer, still struggling to get his footing, losing to Master Joful on week 1. And now to Firemaster on week 2. Speaking of Master Joful, unfortunately, the match against Void is still Void. Was that funny? Was that even English? I'm not sure. But I think I'm funny, you know. Anyway, so Void did not play yet against Master Joful. Hopefully that will still happen. And that will give Master Joful the opportunity to climb to a 2-0 record if he manages to win that. And for Void, it would be the opportunity to even up the score. Then we got final Gambit Shedinja against Eli, and Eli as well. Very strong record, 2-0. Love to see it. Newcomer doing well. And yeah, final Gambit Shedinja, I should say, is not a newcomer to me because I know him from another league, but he's been surprisingly to me, going 0-2 so far, losing against Graf Payne week 1 and now to Eli. So hopefully he can turn his ship around eventually. I'm expecting him to, and I'm here for it. All right, so that's also been... Oh yeah, then we got Graf Payne, week 1. Now got smacked by Moonabloom. It happens, it happens. And this gives us the following standings. Moonabloom, Eli definitely dominating. Master Joful might still join them, but can't really overtake Moonabloom because he can only go to +9 at the max. So that's that. Then we got Firemaster right now in the playoff spot with 1-1 and the neutral differential, which is going to be enough. And yeah, so Firemaster definitely, as always, rooting for him. Then we got Graf Payne, Void, Final Gambit Shedinja, and Hynex just trading behind right now, but that can still change. We are still early in the season, and I'm here for it. Just really quickly looking at the standings for Diamond Clan. You can see that on week 3, which most of the week 3 matches have already happened here, or half of them, I should say. No team is undefeated, which just confirms what I said earlier, that this is a very, very even division with just a huge width of strong players. So yeah, that's going to be super exciting to see who wins that. I couldn't tell, and I'm not trying to make anyone mad by giving any predictions. All right, and yeah, DTN, unfortunately, together with Scary right now trailing. All right, that was it. I went through all the divisions, making your recap, and right now the last thing that is still needs to happen is our match of the week. And the match of the week this week, we chose, we being Gil and myself, we decided that this week's match of the week was Corrupt against Red X, and I'm gonna show you that eventually when it finally loads, but maybe I can load the Mon of the Week replay as well already, just so we can... Jesus Christ. Anyway, hopefully that we can watch that in a bit. All right, so we didn't have many amazing games this week. We ended up choosing this one because I love to see mons like Hatterene actually do work, which it definitely did this in this game. It was a very reliable switch in for the Latios for Red X here, and you can see it just keeps on coming in. Eventually, Call Mines gets a little bit wrecked by Primarina, giving Corrupt a little bit of an early lead, but it just ends up always coming in again against the Latios. And there you see the slacking for the first time. It just doesn't care. It just clicks Giga Impact, stays in, clicks Giga Impact again on Ferrothorn, doing 43% to a Ferrothorn. And Red X also forgot to bring Iron Thorns on Ferro, so that's funny. It was Anticipation, which, I mean, I guess has some niche uses, right? You can at least see if an opponent has the fire move. All right, so is this just a thing now? People running Hurricane on Talonflame because it doesn't do recoil, and so it will stay priority? I've seen that repeatedly now. And there you can see very clutch with the Protect. He manages to not get the Feral killed. And here, just because of Corrupt not clicking Mystic Fire, he just manages to actually get it back to a good amount of HP, which is incredible. It was almost dead. It was at like 20. And now both Hatterene and Pharaoh are back at very good health. Hatterene even at full. And you see, I just love to see it do work like this. And yeah, we even see Throw. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I mean, Throw didn't do all that much, but that's still fun. Oh yeah, and we saw the Terra Ground Water Absorb Politoad, which was pretty hype as well. There were so many cool things about this match. Even the Body Slam Dragonite, whatever, whatever the reason for that was. And then even after getting the slugging burned, that's still not the end of it for Red X here. But yeah, Dragonite, this thing was a little bit the story of the match. It was mixed with Hurricane, Body Slam, and Roost, at least. So yeah, that was pretty hype. Jesus, that's a long match as well. There we got even extreme speed. So yeah, very interesting Dragonite set, which did huge amounts of work. I think it got like 4 or 5 kills in this match. So that is pretty cool. And yeah, I think in the end, had so Kurap forfeited here. I mean, this would have just been an extreme speed. Getting another kill for Dragonite there. I think Kurap could have won that in the end had he predicted the Politoed switch in one time with the Zeraora. I think Zeraora just cleans up, but yeah, it didn't happen. So no point in worrying about it. And this was our match of the week. I thought it was pretty fun. And then we will move on to the Mon of the Week, which unfortunately is also another very long match. But our Mon of the Week is this guy right here, Slowbro Galar for Tylenol. And this was just an incredible performance of AV Slowbro Galar, just completely soloing the entire team. There's, by the way, the insane switch of Weavile into Meowscarada I was talking about earlier, which went well for Tylenol. But yeah, so you see this Slowbro just coming back in. Here, there's the prediction with the Cell Shite Arm, where Ronan lost his Meowscarada for, not for no reason, but on a huge risk he took. And then it just ends up coming back in, and again and again and again. The Slowbro does clicking Future Sight all the time, and pretty much just single-handedly making the progress on the opposing team. Like every time it did, Garganical being such a trash mon, it doesn't really, yeah, it does what Garganical does, right? It came in again and again, but other than Slowbro, it didn't do anything in return, because no opponent that's not brain dead is gonna struggle against Garganical. So yeah, that's exactly what happens. It just Ronan played it to the best of his abilities, but it just doesn't do anything back. So yeah, you can see it's a slow and grueling process here with the future sights by Slowbro, but it always ends up coming back in and doing all the damage. So eventually you see the inevitable. Now there's a Shell Side Arm, and then he just gets another kill with Future Sight. He just didn't have any answers for it. Ronan did, so he wasn't able to do anything. There goes the Shell Side Arm. Now he can just Future Sight again, or even Psyshock if he wants to kill it, like he did. Oh yeah, then the Zoroark came in. It was choice specs, so Skarm was unable to wall it, so it had to resort to knocking itself off with Brave Bird. And then we see Slowbro finally, after soloing the team, whittling it down on its own, cleaning up with Shell Side Arm there and getting 5 kills in the process, and just incredible performance. I've never seen Slowbro Galar do that much, and that's why it's gonna be our Mon of the Week for this week. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely had fun talking for a million years in a row. Guys, let me tell you, did you watch Gil doing his power rankings earlier in the season? That dude talked for 4 hours nonstop. I just talked for, I don't know, maybe like 30 minutes, and I'm completely, I couldn't do it anymore for like 15 more minutes. I don't know how he did it. He's such a beast. Please shout out Gil. Amazing, amazing orator, in my opinion. Anyway, see you guys in the next week.